Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about Docker and containers. First, we will try to understand what's the difference between containers and virtual machines, and then we'll go to Docker. Okay, so the core idea is like when we say container, it just means like an application, okay, that's packaged with its dependency in one unit. Okay, this is important. Okay, container means like it's an application, okay, packaged, okay, with its dependencies and everything into one unit. That's what the purpose of container. Okay, and it runs anywhere, no dependency conflict, same behavior everywhere. Okay, so when we say containers, and we have virtual machines also, the difference is that when you have containers, it's shared host OS. So virtual machine, you have to install a full operating system, right? In the virtual machine to run the application per VM. But in containers, you don't need an operating system because it will share your own operating system. It will use your own operating system, the host operating system. Okay, and the size is less, megabytes, right? But in virtual machines, you have gigabytes, like huge sizes. And also containers are very fast compared to virtual machines, which are very slow. It uses less resources, containers. So containers, lightweight, VM is very heavy. That's the difference. So why we need Docker? Okay, Docker is just this one. Okay, so it's just used. It helps you deal with containers basically. This is the most popular most popular tool available right now for managing the containers. Basically, you download Docker desktop. Okay, its job is like without Docker. Okay, yeah. The benefit is also when you create a container, it's same environment everywhere. It's portable and easy to deploy. Okay, so we have Docker engine. This is the middle layer between OS and container. Docker engine is basically this one. Okay, this is the Docker engine. You would have to run it before you are able to use any Docker commands. Actually, Docker desktop, you can download it from their website. Okay, and download Docker. You can go to their website. Actually, 1 second. 1 second. Here we have Docker. Yeah, you can just. This is their website. Okay, so it's a free safer container ecosystem for everyone. Okay, so yeah, you can download Docker desktop from here. You can either download to Windows or Mac or Linux, whatever. Okay, and once you download, you can run it. Also, there are more things that you need to do actually to let Docker work on your PC. So you need to install Docker desktop. This is the first thing that you need to do. I showed you how to do it, and then you need to install WSL2. Okay, this is important. Without this, Docker will not work. Basically, we are going to interact with Docker using the command line like this. Like here, for example, Docker. You're going to type Docker here, run something, the name of your Docker, or Docker PS. All these commands are not going to work for you anymore if you don't install this one. Okay, Windows subsystem for Linux. Okay, you can do it using this one. Open PowerShell using administrator, and you can just open like this PowerShell. You can use it. Yeah, I use CMD, but you can use PowerShell also. No problem. Run as administrator here, and click yes, and just copy WSL, install, and paste it here. That's it. Then restart your PC. The next step, you have to install Ubuntu inside Windows. Okay, after restart. After restart, first restart your PC, then install Ubuntu like this with this command wsl -- install Ubuntu. Set the username and password if you can, and start Docker. Okay, then in order to start Docker, always remember to open Docker engine. This is the Docker content. This is the one, Docker desktop. Okay, without this, it's not going to work. And wait until it says Docker is running. This is a very important point. Okay, because if it's not, if it doesn't say Docker is running, then it's not going to work with commands. Then you can verify using this command, docker -- version, just to make sure that Docker is already installed. You can run it here. Remove this one. Run it here. You see, it's giving me the Docker version 29.40. Then test. You can use this command to test. You can, this is just a test container. You can just use this one to test. Like here, I can just type here docker run hello world. Okay, docker run hello world. If you get this message hello from Docker, that means you've done it all. You're done. Okay, you did it right. Okay, and try to do you can start with real images. Like for example, here we have nginx. It's used for download for web servers. Okay, for me I already downloaded, but you can use this one, docker pull command. Okay, docker pull nginx command. It's going to download this one, and this command docker run -d -p 8080. This basically is just going to help. Yeah, so we need to first understand what these commands are doing. Okay, when I say docker pull image, okay, I'm just pulling the image. This is called image actually. nginx is used to run web server, but it's called image, right? I want to run this one, run image or pull. First you will pull it, then you're going to run it, right? You're going to run. Okay, ps is used to list the process names. Okay, this to list the images and more. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my notes here so we can Docker architecture. So this is Docker engine is the middle layer. Okay, OS and container. It handles CPU, RAM, network, disk. Okay, containers are actually isolated using namespaces. Okay, what namespaces do? Separate processes, separate files, separate memory. Each container its own mini world. Okay, it's not a full security solution. Containers share same kernel, not as secure as VM. Okay, so what we need to understand is like namespace equals to protection layer. Container normally can't see other containers and can't see host processes. If misconfigured, it can happen. Yeah. So a few things that we need to understand here is namespaces. Okay, this is what makes container isolated from other containers, the namespace. Okay, so we have the thing we need to understand about Docker engine. It runs anywhere. Okay, it's lightweight, fast deployment, easy to share, scalable, like for microservice architecture. Image versus container. Image is blueprint. Okay, container is a running instance. Okay, nginx is an image. It's pulled, right? Container is created. So microservice, okay, we need to understand, in order to understand why we need to use Docker, or just we need to understand the concept of microservices. Okay, we have actually also something called monolith concept. Monolith is like when you let's say I built an application, okay, and I put this application, and this as I'm using this application as a single unit, like all the modules, all the I'm using single database for all the entire application. Okay, and yeah, so this is called monolith. This is the opposite of microservice. Microservice is actually splitting it into different services, splitting your application into some different services. Each service will have its own database. That's the difference between monolith and microservice. Okay, and microservice is used for large application, like big, very big applications that, like Netflix, and they're using microservices split into web server, database, API. Each runs its own container. Okay, what makes Docker powerful? It connects containers, share image, transfer files, automate builds, orchestrates. Okay, Docker Compose. I will talk about Docker Compose later on. The difference between Docker and Docker Compose. Docker Compose allows you to run multiple containers into one, using one at a time, multiple containers. That's why we use Docker Compose. And yeah, yeah. So things that we need to know here is that Docker, when we talk about Docker, it's equals to image. We're talking about images, containers, and managed by engines, by engine. Yeah. Image is a blueprint. Container is a running application. Yeah. The four commands. This is actually basically what we need to memorize. Okay. See what I did? Docker pull. This is to download an image, nginx. Okay. And Docker image. This is to list images, all the available images. And Docker image rm and nginx. This is to remove the image. To run the container, you just use docker run. Remember these commands. Okay, and to manage containers, we use docker ps or docker ps -a. Build images, docker build ht. So we must master this one, docker run. Okay, essential options. Yeah, a few commands that we need to master here is these things. Okay, so I want to do it actually. I want to do it practically so we can understand it better. Okay, enough of the theory, and we can just do it practically, and we can understand it better. Okay, just let me use this one. Okay, so I'm going to use this one so I can show you here. Okay, so when you want to create a Docker file, we use create, okay, Docker file, okay, like this. Okay, and let me show you an example here. Let's do it actually. Let's go ahead and do it. Practice. Let's say here I'm going to go to a folder here, demo, Docker demo. And I'm going to go here and going to create CMD. I'm going to create a Docker file. Okay, no need to do. I want to create a Docker file. Okay, in order to do that, all we have to do is go to. You can actually go to. Let's go to file, open folder. Okay, I'm going to open Docker demo. This is the folder that I created. I'm going to select here. I'm going to create a new file here. Okay, I'm going to call it Docker. Remember, you have to name it this way, Docker file. It has to be exactly like this, Docker file, exactly this name, Docker file. Here we can write from, okay, and nginx, okay, and alpine, okay. Yeah, it doesn't have to be nginx. You can use also other like yeah, but I'm using this one because it's the lightweight, and it's recommended to use alpine actually for this. Okay, and then I'm going to copy. Before copying, we need to know what we are doing actually. From means I'm just saying run this image, use this image. Basically, I'm telling them to use nginx image. Okay, I need to use this image. Okay, and then I'm just going to create a file index.html. Okay, and I'm just going to type here HTML, and yes, yeah. So this is just an HTML file, a basic HTML file. It will output hello world. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to run a web server here. Okay, and I'm going to try to access it from the browser. Okay, now I'm going to use copy command. Copy index.html and put it here. I'm just saying copy this file index.html that I created, put it inside this here. This is the path where we can put our HTML file inside nginx. Okay, then save it. Okay, we're almost there now. Go ahead and just open cmd. Now let us use Docker. Let's build the file Docker build -t my nginx and put the dot here. Okay, this is what it means. So I said Docker. Okay, we know what Docker is. I'm building this Docker file. Okay, and -t my name, my nginx. This is the name I chose. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be my nginx. I can change it, make it my hello world app. Okay, doesn't really matter. Okay, when I say dot here, I mean I'm telling it to look for it inside the Docker, where the Docker file is located. It's inside here, the current folder. I'm telling it it's inside the current folder, basically. Then just go ahead and build it. Build it. Build it. Okay, once you run this one, okay, once you build it here, okay, we build it here, and we build it here. Okay, once we build it here, okay, the next step is actually just we can go ahead and run the container. Okay, the next step after building is running the container, right? So I'm going to go ahead. Okay, docker run dash p. Okay, I'm using dash p. The reason I'm using dash p is actually no, I use dash d. Dash d stands for detached. So I want to run this container detached. That's what I'm saying basically. Yeah, dash p we use to define the port basically. Okay, I'm just saying I want to run this one 8080. I want to use bind the port 80 with 8080, and I'm going to write my docker name, which is my my container name, hello world app. Okay, so now I just run it. Once you run it, okay, now we just have to go to our let me open a new tab here, localhost. Okay, and I type here 8080. I should see this one. No, I shouldn't see this one. This is not the one actually. It's supposed to be here. It's supposed to show hello from Docker or hello world or whatever I wrote inside my index.html. So I can just pass it here. I think we have to go here index.html, right? Or let me check. Okay, port is already allocated. I think we have more than one here. Docker running. I think it's this one. So I want to go ahead and docker, and just so you know, there is a command also to stop the docker stop, and you can just stop it here. Here I think it's nx, no such container. What's the name here? Container. I don't know what I named it, but I think we have. The name is actually okay. Okay, let me just stop this container. It's actually my nx such container. Okay, no response from dinner. Let me just try this one. I don't know if I'm able to access it now. Let's see. I think now it's okay, but let's go ahead and try to. For some reason, it's not actually showing the okay, let me docker ps. There's no docker running here, and you can see also here the containers. Okay, actually none of them are running. None of them are actually running. Okay, I need to try to run it. Run the one that I just created, and let me see if, because this command didn't work actually, and now it's running. You see, you can see that it's running from here. Objective Keldish, yeah, it's running now. This is the command that I created. You can see the image here and the port that we should use and the actions. And let's refresh this one. See, I got hello world. So this is basically how we use Docker. Okay, what I showed you is one single container, how we can run a single container. To stop it, you just have to do this command. Okay, docker stop, and you can type the name or whatever. Like we can first, let's see the list of running containers. You can use docker ps. See the list of running containers. Now we can see that this is the list of my running containers, right? I can use here, for example, my hello world. Let's copy it here. I want to stop it, docker stop my hello world. It's telling me no such container. Okay, so I'm going to use the name instead. This one, objective Keldish, and try to stop it. See, if I use the name, it's easier to stop the container, I think. You can just try to refresh this. It's not going to work now. See, it's not working. It's off. You can use the name. It's here better. But you see, if you notice, it's stopped, but it's not removed. You can still use it. Start it. If you see, this is our container. Still here. Okay, but you can still use it. But let's say you want to remove this completely. There is a command that we can use to delete this. Stop and delete. Okay, we can use docker down, and we can just type this one. Objective Keldish unknown command. I think there's a mistake here. Yeah, because okay. I think there's a mistake. Let's go to down here. I think the syntax mistake. Help. Down. We have. Okay, these are the command. Run. We know about run. This is what we use to run the container. PS to list the container. Build image from the Docker file. Pull to download image from registry. Push upload image to registry. List. Log in. Log out. Search. These are the key commands that we need to understand. But now let's go and do another example. Let me go ahead and do another example. Okay. Let me go to Notion here. I can see that we have another example here. Okay, yeah, these are actually important commands. Docker run, we know about it now. And yeah, options, we have options you can add here. Like I told you, this -d means detached. It can run in the background. IT means interactive shell. You need interactive shell. -p means port mapping. V just file sharing, and the name the container. Yeah, we didn't use this one, but you can use this one. RM to auto delete. Okay. So we can actually name our container here. Okay, we can just name our container using -name. Okay, instead of using this names mentioned here, this is automatically generated actually by Docker. We can rename name our container what we need to name it basically, and it's the tag, image and tag. When we pull, let's say we want to pull Ubuntu, okay, you can use docker pull Ubuntu. And tags, basically it means this one, this part. You're just mentioning the version here. The format is like this. The latest equals to default. Not always safe, but is build your own image. So yeah, these instructions we have to understand. So what we mention on from means the basic operating system. Okay, work there application is just a working directory. Okay, just a working directory. Copy. We have here copy the files. Run apt install. We have here this is we've used copy and from, right? But still we didn't use working directory. Working directory is just to mention the path where you need to be to run this one. And run is what command you need to run. Like let's say apt install or update or upgrade or whatever command you need to run here. You can type it here on the run. Okay, expose what it is, then build. Performance secret, like it's recommended to do it this way. Okay, so I'm saying run apt update, first update, and then apt install nginx-y. Okay, so Docker Compose, yeah, Docker Compose is used for multiple containers to run to use multiple containers. Okay, instead of Docker file. So we have commands here up and down, Docker Compose up and down, and this is like one example. Okay, let's say we have an image. Yeah, this is the example that we did actually. We just tried. Okay, Docker file. We use this one, this command, and we already tried this one actually. We have .env file. This is the root password and the database. And this is Docker Compose file. So I just run the version here and service. And under service, I mentioned the web. Yeah. Docker up, Docker Compose down, stops everything. Best practice. So yeah, this is Docker. So I want to build a web image, pull MySQL image, and create a network, appnet. Start both containers, connect them automatically, and create a persisting database storage.